How you been? Good. Enjoy your trip. They also sent me qualifying classes. Okay. I do remember seeing that. Sometimes I even turn it out. Yes.
We'll call the October the 3rd meeting of the DeSoto County Board of Education to order. And first item of business will be pledge of allegiance to the flag. We have two young folks here today to lead us in pledge of allegiance to the flag. Bailey Childers and Sophie Hamilton, they're fifth grade students, Center Hill Elementary School. Would you please stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank God.
Great job.
I'll ask for approval of the agenda tonight, with the exception of one change. Delete item D from new business. And with that deletion, Mr. Austin, do we have a recommendation to approve the agenda before the vote this evening?
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the agenda with item D in new business deleted.
Okay, as Cole's superintendent's recommendation, do we have a motion to approve the agenda at before the vote with the exception of one deletion?
Make that motion.
Motion having been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it, the agenda is approved with that one deletion. Superintendent's report, Mr. Austin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've got three items this afternoon on my agenda. First of all, I'd like to ask the principal of DeSoto Central High School, Mr. Cliff Johnston, to please come forward at this time. He has a student from DeSoto Central High School that we'll be introducing to you today.
Good afternoon, how are y'all?
How are you?
Great. Thank you for having us here this afternoon. One of our students at DeSoto Central High School was recently selected to be a student representative of the Mississippi Department of Education on their board. And it's a big honor, and we're proud I'd like to introduce y'all to my student, Lamar Jamil.
Any board members have any questions or?
Yes, sir, I do. How were you selected for the board? How did you get this job?
The application process was statewide for all juniors and all rising juniors and seniors. And again in December, and after completing my application in February, there was a semifinalist meeting for all semifinalists that chose from the entirety of Mississippi to be reviewed and to have an interview. And from those semifinalists, there were 2 finalists from each category chosen for a second interview, of which I was chosen to represent the juniors in Mississippi.
So is this a
Right.
one-year term?
This, if you are elected your first year for junior representation, you have 2 years to serve, and if you're the first senior chosen, then you have 1 year.
Anyone else?
I do. What are the plans after you graduate? I know that's looking for my kids right now. Have you given it much consideration?
3 very general majors: politics, law, and medicine. So we'll see where I go from there.
That's, well, this will be a very good experience for you, and it looks very good on your resume to be representing DeSoto County Schools on the state level. So, congratulations to you. That's one.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, very proud of you.
This time I'd like to ask Ms. Sissy Hyman, principal of Center Hill Elementary School, to please come forward. This afternoon, Center Hill Elementary School will be our teacher spotlight session.
Thank you for having us today. Mr. Usington asked us to come and present our school. And one of the things he says to do is to, what teacher in your school building is just doing an excellent job? Well, all of my teachers are doing an excellent job. We are a fine, fine school. And I know that you all have heard a whole lot about test scores here, like, have you not? Well, good. And my test scores were great, and I was very proud. I'm proud of our A district, and I'm proud of my A school. But I want to tell you about Center Hill Elementary beyond the academics. And when I got an opportunity to look at the video, not only was I in the doctor's office with my daughter who's having her first grandbaby, but I watched the video. And I'm weeping, and the doctor's like, what's wrong with this lady? But what it is I'm a part of a great school, and we do great things there. And I think Ms. Samples heard me one day over the intercom, that we are so much more than academics and test scores. We are learning to be good citizens and helping others out. So I have my spotlight teachers, Ms. Emmy Rutland and Ms. Missy Watson, who are going to share with you Center Hill Elementary beyond academics. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Hyman.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing us to come here and show you all of the many wonderful things happening at Center Hill Elementary School. We are so blessed to work with some pretty amazing teachers and students. We hope you enjoy this glimpse into our school. Our future stars belong to Miss Wilbanks Drama Club. Acting Up is the drama club at Center Hill Elementary that is made up of students in grades 3 through 5. These students are selected through an audition process that involves dancing, singing, and acting. They meet once a week to practice for their show in May. We would love to have you all join us next spring for Annie. Our choirs are amazing. Talented 4th and 5th graders can audition to be part of the Mustang Singers. Also, treble choir is a non-audition 3rd grade choir. Students practice twice a week for concerts and events. PE buddies are new this year. 4th grade students who are leaders in PE class had the opportunity to help kindergartners in their PE class. These PE buddies give up their recess once a week to assist Miss Antonio by demonstrating games and exercises. Knowledge Bowl kids are those kids that ask a lot of questions, and in Knowledge Bowl, they get to answer them. Our 4th and 5th grade Knowledge Bowl teams compete every spring. Sometimes we come out on top, and sometimes we don't, but we always make new friends. Mrs. Hale started her book club several years ago, and it's still going strong. 5th grade students who want to read, discuss, and analyze literature are exactly what Ms. Hale looks for in her book club members. They They meet once a month during lunch and recess. Nice and smart? Yes, those kids make up our National Elementary Honor Society. This achievement is earned by students that exhibit excellent citizenship and have all A's. They organize donations for our blessing box and the Olive Branch Food Pantry. Peer buddies get a chance to bond with very special students at CHES. Kind-hearted fifth grade students can apply to be a peer buddy. Peer buddies join Miss Plank's class twice a week to help them with a variety of activities and build friendships. Mrs. D'Antonio's running club has an abundance of interest. 3rd through 5th grade students are invited to join the running club. Students learn running form, participate in active games, and log miles after school. Our blessing box is serving our community in ways we never dreamed. We were excited to add our blessing box to our campus last year. Our 5th grade science teacher, Mr. Allen, constructed it, and our Spotlight students, along with our Honor Society students, keep it stocked year-round. Mighty Mustang Meals offer relief to many hungry children. Every Friday, the Centerville area schools send them backpacks filled with food to children who are in need of a little extra help. Centerville sponsored a food drive called Ravioli and Raymond Noodles Roundup. It was a huge success. A big thanks to Ms. Amy Gardner for heading up EL Dollars for Dogs. Our EL students partnered with New Beginnings Animal Rescue to help stray dogs in our community. They raised $850 for supplies purchased at our local pet shop. No words can describe the magic of Make-A-Wish. Our Spotlight students hold a school-wide fundraiser every year to bring the one true wish of a seriously ill child. Centerville Elementary has raised over $85,000 and granted 16 wishes of users. Mrs. Hamilton's student ambassadors are awesome leaders. These fifth graders demonstrate a willingness to help others, have a desire to help their leadership skills, maintain acceptable grades, and have appropriate conduct. Student ambassadors assist with Red Ribbon Week, peer tutoring, and bullying prevention. In addition, they attend monthly meetings and participate in community projects. Mrs. Schmidt is leading a group of girls on the run. This group is for 3rd through 5th grade girls. They explore and discuss challenges they face at this age. They develop strategies to navigate life experiences. At the end of each 3-month session, the girls participate in a 5K. Crossing the finish line is a defining moment for them. For years, our school has brought in shoeboxes for soldiers. CHES students donate supplies for soldiers while competing for a PE grant through Baptist Memorial Hospital DeSoto. Centerville Elementary has won this grant for several years. Veterans are so important to us all. Our Veterans Program takes place every year in November. This program honors all veterans, especially those near and dear to the hearts of our little Mustangs. It's always so special to meet these heroes. A yearly highlight for Erie Nursing Home residents, Christmas carols. Every December, the 5th grade students travel to 2 nursing homes to present a Christmas-themed program to the residents. At Centerville Elementary School, we are family, supporting our students, our neighbors, and each other. Thank you very much.
Great presentation, and Ms. Hyman, we appreciate you and your leadership at Centerville Elementary School. I know I'll be out there soon for the combined pledge pretty soon. Also, the dedication of the basketball court, respected here, and that's going to be awesome in just a few weeks. And I will say too, and goes along with the academic success, is all that's tied in together, all the experiences that your students are being offered by your faculty and everyone, that leads to success in all areas. And y'all do a great job. So, keep up the great work. Great seeing y'all. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I was telling our attorney in the local community your meals that you send home on the weekend for students is very much talked about.
And that is very much in partnership with Center Hill High School, so I want to give Mr. Payne,
Okay, well,
the kudos on that as well.
it is a tremendous service,
Yes,
tremendous. Thank you.
thank you so much. We appreciate y'all.
Thank y'all. I do have one more item in my superintendent's report this afternoon, and it's Ms. Barbara Jefferson. Good, come on, if you could please come to the podium. Barbara Jefferson was our principal at Hernando Elementary School, and Ms. Angie Couch is here also, and they have a presentation to make today, Delta Catholic Campus.
Yes, I am the president of Alpha Delta chapter of Delta Kappa Gamma. This is Angie Couch. She's chairman of our professional affairs committee who made the selection for the award we give today, and she arranged for our presentation here. We have two other members who have come to be in the audience, Bonnie Reed and Meg Anderson. We are an international organization. It's not total. We are an international organization of key women educators. Our local chapter gives scholarships to women in college who are majoring in education. We also help to mentor some early career teachers in DeSoto County schools. Also, our service project is to provide products to the district school nurses to give to middle and high school girls to help alleviate some of their high absentee rates. Every biennium, we give a Red Rose Award named after the symbol of our organization. We give this to a woman residing in our chapter area whose accomplishments have benefited education and the status of women in leadership roles. This year, we present the Red Rose Award to Sheila Wright.
Right.
And I'm not through. Ms. Riley has 26 years of experience in DeSoto County school system. She has worked in individual schools and in the district school board office for all of these years. She in the Department of Personnel and Professional Development. She ran for the District 4 School Board position and was elected for a 6-year term in 2012. She recently has run again and been reelected to another 6-year term. We laud your dedication and advocacy for education in our community and the example you serve for women to run for office and serve as leaders. You have greatly impacted the lives of countless children and youth in this community, and we thank you.
This is one time
I'm having yours, and thank you.
Thank y'all for coming, and thank y'all for recognizing Ms. Riley for all of her accomplishments. Obviously, she's a great asset to DeSoto County Schools and has been throughout her career. We appreciate y'all recognizing her. We appreciate y'all's cooperation, all that y'all do for our students. So thank y'all for coming. And that concludes my superintendent's report.
Okay. Congratulations, Ms. Riley. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Next item of business is attorney's report.
We have, Mr. Chairman, we have a couple of things we need to discuss in executive session. One involves a contract matter, and the other is a personnel matter, both of which should be in executive session.
Okay, next item of business on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the September the 19th meeting of the DeSoto County School Board. Do I have a motion that the approval of the minutes September the 19th be approved?
I make a motion that the September 19th, 2019 board meeting minutes should be approved.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, motion having been made and seconded to approve the items of September 19th board meeting. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The item is approved. Consent agenda items A through D. D, no changes there. The recommendation, Mr. Austin.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the consent agenda.
Based on Mr. Usleton's recommendation to approve the consent items A through D, do we have that in the form of a motion?
Make that motion.
Motion having been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it, the consent agenda items A through D is approved. Next item of business is, new business, item A. Is the network video recorders, bids, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. These were open on September the 17th for the purpose of network video recorders for the district. There are 3 vendors to bid on the specs, and it's my recommendation to go with the lowest and best bid that was submitted by Mid-South Telecom LLC.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Williams on that? If not, your recommendation, Mr. Olson.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to accept the lowest and best bid from Mid-South Telecom LLC for the purchase of network video recorders.
Okay, based upon the superintendent's recommendation and Mr. Williams' presentation, do we have a motion to that effect?
I make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion having been made and seconded, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it, the motion is approved. Item B, sale of surplus property, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. Bids were open on September the 12th, selling surplus property for the district. There is a list of the property items and the bidders and the amount that they bid in your packet. It's my recommendation to approve the sale of the surplus property as listed by line item in your packet.
Okay. Mr. Williams' presentation, your recommendation, Mr. Olson.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to accept the bids for the sale of surplus property.
Okay. Based on Mr. Olson's recommendation for approval of the sale of surplus property, Do we have a motion to that effect?
Make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion having been made and seconded, all those in favor, aye? Aye. Nay, ayes have it, sale of surplus property as presented is approved. Item C, permission to construct playground addition, Mr. Williams.
It's a PTA and the students at Fernando Hills Elementary. It's fundraised to accumulate funds to make an addition to their existing playground. The area will serve as an outdoor classroom, structured lesson learning. Upon completion of the project, the PTA will donate the project to the district.
Based on Mr. Williams' discussion about the permission to construct playground addition, do we have that in the form of recommendation?
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the construction of the playground addition at Hernando Hills Elementary School.
Okay, based on Mr. Usleton's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to that effect?
Make that motion.
Motion having been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it, motion is approved. Item D was removed. Item E is request to reimburse employee, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. The culinary arts teacher at Tech, Center West, when I first produced additional ingredients for a project they had, that she had a PO, she had followed all the district procedures. Walmart would not accept the PO, and so she purchased the items from her own funds. So CTC West is asking that we be able to reimburse the culinary arts instructors for the purchase of the supplies that she needs that day.
Based on Mr. Williams' presentation, request to reimburse employees, your recommendation, Mr. Austin.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the reimbursement of the employee at Career Tech Center West.
Okay. Based on Mr. Usleton's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to that effect?
Make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion having been made and seconded, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it, the request is approved. Statement of revenue and expenditures, August 2019, Ms. Graves. We're glad to have you back.
Thank you, glad to be back. Our general fund revenues received through the end of August are at $31,918,204. It's 13% of our total budget revenues of $254,032,866. If you compare that to last year so far at $28,292,500, we're up about 13%, which is of course more than MAP. All funds received so far for the year at $36,427,050. Our general fund expenditures are at $28,205,273, which is 11% of our budget expenditures, which is, we're actually slightly below where we normally are at this point. Compare that to FY19, $24,617,097. We're up 15%, but let me clarify that. We are down in our budget percent. We're actually below budget at this point, which is a good thing. All fund expenditures are at $35,321,409, which is 9% of all budgeted expenditures.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Graves. Question or comment from any board member? Now, Mr. Usleton, your recommendation for approval?
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the statement of revenue and expenditures for August 2019.
Okay. Based upon Mr. Usleton's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to that effect?
I suppose.
Motion having been made, do we have a second? Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it. Statement of revenue and expenditures for August 2019 are approved. Statement of cash flow, August of 19, Ms. Graves.
Our current balance in our district maintenance account is $80,067,026. That includes an invested balance of $27,435,606. Our all funds cash balance is $134,634,535, which our general fund makes up about 59%. Normally that percent is higher, but do remember we received over 27 million in our certificates of participation, which is not a general revenue, so it just kind of changes that percentage, but that's nothing negative. It's all.
Still pleased with our return on our investment money.
Very pleased.
Good, good, good. Based on Ms. Graves' presentation of the statement of cash flow, the recommendation, Mr. Alston.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the statement of cash flow for August 2019.
Okay. Based on the superintendent's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to that effect?
Make that motion.
Motion having been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it. Statement of cash flow is approved. Combined balance sheet, August 19, Ms. Graves.
Our general funds fund balance at this point is $99,435,796. We are up 10% over last year, which is great news, at $90,046,901. Our all funds fund balance is $142,493,91, which is 70. Our general fund is 70% to total. That normally is around 80, 85. It's the same premise that you have those CUP funds also in their fund balance, which dilutes that percentage, but it's nothing negative.
Okay. Questions, comments, Ms. Graves? Not your recommendation, Mr. Alston.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the combined balance sheet for August 2019.
Okay. Based on Mr. Usleton's recommendation for approval of the combined balance sheet report, do we have a motion to that effect?
I make that motion.
Motion having been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it. Combined balance sheet for August 19 is approved. Item I, certification of bank reconciliations.
All bank,
August 19, Ms. Graves.
I'm sorry. All bank statements have been reconciled with no exception.
Right, right. Based on Ms. Graves' recommendation and statement, your recommendation, Mr. Alston.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the certification of bank reconciliation for August 2019.
Okay, based upon the superintendent's recommendation for approval of certification of bank reconciliations, do we have a motion to that effect?
So move.
Motion having been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay, ayes have it. Certification of bank reconciliations for August 19 are approved. Next item of business is new board policy JGL student safety. Ms. Weeks.
Yes, sir, this policy was recommended by the Mississippi School Board Association and was presented at our last meeting for a first read. It was posted on our website, and at this point, we've not received any comments or feedback.
Okay. Based on Ms. Weeks' presentation, new board policy JGF, the recommendation, Mr. Austin.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the new board policy JGF, student safety.
Okay. Based on Mr. Usleton's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to that effect?
I make that motion.
Motion having been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it, the new board policy JGF is approved. Next item of business is revised board policy DJEL. Independent contractors, consultants, and service providers. Ms. Weeks.
Yes, we are requesting a revision to this policy to clarify the district's policy on non-employee insurance and background check requirements.
Okay. All right. Based on Ms. Weeks' presentation, revised board policy DJEL, do we have a recommendation, Mr. Austin, for approval?
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the revised board policy DJEF, independent contractors, consultants, and service providers.
Okay, based on the superintendent's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to that effect?
Make that motion.
Motion having been made, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nays? Revised board policy DJEF is approved. Okay. All right. Rescind board policy ABD, superintendent legal status, Ms. Weeks.
Yes, we are requesting to rescind this policy. Superintendents are no longer elected and are now appointed, so it's no longer necessary.
Okay. Based on Ms. Weeks' recommendation and statement on the superintendent legal status, the recommendation, Mr. Osborne.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the rescinding of board policy ABD for superintendent legal status.
Okay. Based on Mr. Usleton's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it. The board policy is rescinded. Next item of business is to rescind board policy CEDA, county superintendent vacancy. Ms. Weeks.
Yes, we're requesting to rescind this policy. It was first created to address a vacancy in the superintendent's position prior to January 1st, 2019. Since we are past that date, it's no longer necessary to have this policy.
Okay. Based on Ms. Weeks' presentation of that revision, your recommendation, Mr. Osborne.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the rescinding of board policy CEDA for county superintendent vacancy.
Okay, based on Mr. Usleton's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to that effect? Motion having been made, do we have a second? Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it, that policy CEDA is rescinded. Next item of business on the agenda is personnel. Mr. Alexander.
Yes, sir. Personnel package this afternoon, pages 1 and 2 are recommendations. Pages 3 and 4 report the personnel changes. Page 5 is a provisional list for those employees waiting license to be paid a daily rate of $75 a day. Page 6 is a memo from the principal of Falls Elementary School on a one employee on getting comp time for an August 3rd event. It was before her start date. Be an hour with 10 to 1, we usually do comp time to reimburse. Page 7 is a memo from the Human Resource Department on dual credit hour corrections. These are hours, the board approved on September 5th, and were inaccurate, and the attached spreadsheet has a correct number of hours to be issued to each counselor for their additional use of dual credit. Page 8 is the dual credit counselor, additional hours correction. Page 9 is a memo from Ms. Nelson, our Director of Leadership Development, on the Superintendent's Youth Council Facilitator stipend of $5,000 for both Mr. Shins and Ms. Goss for their work for the 1920 school year. Page 10 is a request for additional pay from Ms. Ingram, our Director of Federal Programs. Ms. Roberts, who works as an after-school tutor at the Palmer Home. She'll work up to 19 hours a week, beginning 10/4/19 and ending 6/30/19, and we pay $27 per hour. Page 11 is a request for additional pay from Ms. Ingram, also on after-school tutoring at South Intermediate School for students who need extra academic support. They'll work 19 hours a week, beginning 10/4 ending 12/30/2019, and pay $27 an hour. Page 12 is a list of those employees' names working as after-school tutors. Page 13 is request additional pay from Ms. Ingram on professional development Title II CEU presenters. Begin 10/4/19 and end 6/30/2020. Be paid $27 per hour. Page 14 is a list of the CEU presenters' names and total hours scheduled at this time of work.
Okay. Any questions or comments, Mr. Alexander, any personnel matters? Not, your recommendation, Mr. Olson.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve personnel as presented.
Okay, based on the superintendent's recommendation to approve personnel as presented by Mr. Alexander. Do I have a motion to that effect? Motion having been made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second having been made, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay, ayes have it, personnel is approved as presented. Next item of business, residency appeals, Mr. Cole.
Yes, sir. Have 3 items to be discussed in executive session.
3 items.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Finley.
Mr. Chairman, we have 3 matters to address in executive session.
Okay. Since this is the first meeting of the board, public comment, anyone here to speak from the public, 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you had requested to appear and speak. There's no discussion of personnel matters or student matters that are discussed in open session. But you may discuss other items toward the board, but no student matter, no personnel matter is discussed in an open session. Not appearing, need a motion then for consideration of closed session to determine whether the board should enter executive session for residency appeals, student discipline, and the 4 requested matters to appear before the board. And the attorneys had 1 matter, 2 matters from our attorneys. All right. Do I need a motion on it for that? Okay. Mr. Chase will come back in and you will be informed as well the board will stay in executive session for those matters brought up. Do we have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.